answer lies in the heart of battle.
King of Iron Fist Tournament.
Mugen TV versus Corner.
Welcome to the stage of history retold.
Hey guys, it's Mugalore here, and I'm back again with another video. And today we're going to talk about Darkstalkers. Now, the last time we talked about Darkstalkers, that there was some interest from Mike Z himself, the creator of Skullgirls, that he wanted to pretty much go to Capcom and see if they can work on a Darkstalkers game. And that was the last time we really talked about it. So why am I mentioning about this today? Well, for the past couple of days, there's been some rumors, there's been some speculations, and some hype surrounding Darkstalkers once more. Now, we're going to get into this, and before we get into this, I just want to remind you guys to make sure you hit that like button, the thumbs up button, and also hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, and don't forget the bell to be notified. So, let us dive right into it. Now, I do know that a lot of you guys who are subscribed to me on this YouTube channel are big fans of the Darkstalkers series. Now, the thing is, I haven't really had much, I guess you say, memories or moments with the Darkstalkers franchise. So, a couple days ago, about 2 days ago, I was on Event Hubs. I haven't been there in a while because I haven't really been digging into fighting games for a couple of months now, and I've been just playing a lot of my role-playing games for the past couple of months. But I decided to go check out Event Hubs, and there was some surprising information regarding Darkstalkers. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean anything about a game or anything, but people were starting to talk about this, and then it just started swirling into all these other type of details and information. Now, recently there was an update to Resident Evil Project Resistance, which is that co-op multiplayer game that's bundled with Resident Evil 3 Nemesis remake. And from my experience, I really enjoyed it. From the beta that I tried with my brothers DX Strike and Keel Lancer, I enjoyed it. Well, as you know, and if you don't know, they have pretty much a roadmap of content that they want to release for Project Resistance. So just recently, Nikolai was released as a mastermind on Resident Evil Project Resistance, and also Nemesis is included, so he's also a playable character, and a new stage was also included as well. Now, there's this YouTuber that in the Event Hubs article, which I'll post in the link in the description below, there's a YouTuber who pretty much broke down all of the Darkstalker Easter eggs and references in Project Resistance, because Capcom for some reason decided to litter a bunch of the Darkstalkers Easter eggs throughout the entire stage. Now, this is where it gets interesting, and like I said before, I'll post a link in the description below so you guys can check out the full video, because I won't show it here, but I want to give that YouTuber the credit that YouTuber deserves, because they actually break this down to the T. So I'll advise you to check that out. Now, what makes this more interesting is, for the simple fact is, there's another YouTuber named VesperArcade. Now, I've been subscribed to VesperArcade for what, 2 or 3 years now, and VesperArcade makes great content. If you guys are like Capcom fans and you more so into fighting games like Street Fighter or any fighting game that's Capcom related, then I advise you to go check out his channel, because it's just dedicated to Capcom fighting games. And right now, Street Fighter 5 is like the biggest discussion and stuff, but they do talk about other Capcom fighters outside of the realm of Street Fighter 5. Well, he just had a discussion that's related to the video of the guy that was breaking down the Easter eggs, and I pretty much like what he was pretty much alluding to in this discussion surrounding a potential Darkstalkers that we may be getting an announcement soon, or a reveal possibly, or anything of that sort. So I'll post a link in the description to his channel as well. Go check his content out. I think it's pretty good. And also leave a comment and tell him that Mugalore sent you. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this too is because I did leave you guys hanging on, details regarding Darkstalkers. A lot of you guys love Darkstalkers and stuff. Now, what VesperArcade did say in this video that made me also scratch my head and also speculate too, is for the simple fact is, he said that the Easter eggs that was found in the Project Resistance was a little bit too much. I guess you could say they more detailed than any other Easter eggs that you can find in a lot of other Capcom games. Mainly the Frankenstein character, which I can't remember off the top of my head, because like I said, I'm not really big into Darkstalkers like that. It's for the simple fact, as they said, there's a statue in Project Resistance where you could actually see his character, and pretty much unlike any of the other Easter eggs or backdrops that they have in Project Resistance, where when you play a lot of games, when you have like textures or you have objects in most games where there's not really a lot of textures or effort put into a lot of objects, but he was pretty much saying that for some strange reason, for the fact is that this specific statue has the most amount of detail within Project Resistance altogether, and there could be a chance that either Capcom had scrapped an idea of a Darkstalkers game, or that they could be working on it, have something to pretty much show off is in the future for Darkstalkers. For the fact is that this character model is too detailed compared to any other of the projects or the objects that's found in Project Resistance, that maybe this could be a hint, or this could be ripped from a new Darkstalkers game that's coming. And not just that, there was also some other posters and Easter eggs showing a new design of Morgan on a poster, and there's all these little subtle hints that were shown throughout Project Resistance, which I found was quite interesting. So not only that, after doing some digging and after watching VesperArcade's YouTube channel, if I went to Reset Era and went to go look into this, because there were some other interesting details that's linked to Darkstalkers and Street Fighter V. VesperArcade mentioned this too, and this is also going to be found on Reset Era. Recently, there was also a magazine that was published in Japan, a fighting game magazine, that explained the development behind, Street Fighter V. Now, an interesting point about that is they mentioned the character Fang. Now, Fang is this wacky looking character that, to me, in my opinion, didn't feel like or didn't seem like a Street Fighter character to me. He just seemed so out of place because of his moveset and this overall design. But in the article, one of the developers mentioned the actual origin of Fang, and it was said in the article, and it was also posted in Reset Era, which I'll post a link in the description below for you to check that out yourself, that Fang was originally going to be a Darkstalkers character. He was originally supposed to be in a scrapped or they said in the article, an aborted new vampire game. And Fang moveset and everything it was supposed to be a representation or a reflection that was supposed to be in a new Darkstalkers game, which was quite interesting. And now that you go back and you go think about it and everything about the Fang characters, how unusual that character is compared to the other Street Fighter characters. He has the weird purple, I call them grape flavor hands, where it's dripping with grape soda and everything. And also he flies and flap around the stage. He also throws poison status effects at your character, at your opponents and everything, which I also find quite unusual for a character that's in a Street Fighter game. So now, knowing that he was originally supposed to be a Darkstalkers character, I think that makes sense, and it's quite interesting now thinking about that. So now that we have got on all that out of the way, now it has me thinking now, what's next? Now, another thing that Event Hubs and many other people that's been following when it comes to announcements revolving around Capcom Cup, many people also noticed that we may be getting an announcement soon for upcoming Capcom fighting game. Now, how did people draw this conclusion? Now, if you guys haven't know, we had the previous Capcom Cup, or a few years ago, back when we still had Ultra Street Fighter 4, normally when a person wins on the Capcom Cup, that the winner or the champion of that Capcom Cup pretty much carries over to the next Capcom Cup. Now, every time when this pattern has been broken, where they make an announcement, and every time they announce the next Capcom Cup, they always mention how the previous winner will carry over to the next Capcom Cup, the champion. Well, what happens is, during the last, I guess you say, Capcom Cup for Ultra Street Fighter 4, they specifically states that the winner of that year's Capcom Cup would not carry over to the next Capcom Cup. And a lot of people found that kind of weird at the time. And when they had made that announcement, that's when that year's, at the end of Capcom Cup, they revealed Street Fighter V. So if you guys haven't been following about this year's Capcom Cup, the same pattern has happened again. This year's champions will not carry over to the next Capcom Cup. So everybody's speculating that at the end of this year's Capcom Cup, Capcom will make an announcement for their next upcoming fighting game. Now, people are speculating that it could be Street Fighter 6, which I think is going to be Street Fighter 6. But now that, everybody's been talking about, a potential Darkstalkers, people are speculating that maybe, just maybe, that we may get a reveal of a potential Darkstalkers game, which I would find quite interesting. Also, Capcom has the RE engine, and a lot of people would love to see how, fighting games would work in the RE engine, because it's been quite successful with the whole Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 3 remake. So people love to see, will they take advantage of the RE remake, the RE engine, for Darkstalkers or even Street Fighter 6 itself. So everybody's speculating that maybe at the end of Capcom Cup, we'll probably get an announcement soon. But to me, in my opinion, it may not be Darkstalkers. We just don't know. But it could be any other potential fighting game, because when I mentioned in my previous couple of videos regarding Capcom and their fighting game division, we also had the producer of and the creator of the Power Stone franchise, where he said that he's really interested in diving right into Power Stone 3, and he would like to make it created for the Nintendo Switch. And then we also have the creator of Rival Schools, who's also the creator of Devil May Cry. He also said that he really wants to make another Rival Schools game. And at the time they said that he wanted to work on it, he was in the middle of development of Devil May Cry 5, but he's saying it's pretty much up to what Capcom wants to do. But he's really head forward into wanting to do a new Rival Schools. So it's a lot of information going on as far as a new potential fighting games coming from Capcom. And if you guys don't remember, I also done a video too that one of the voice actors to Devil May Cry 5 may have slipped up about a potential new Marvel vs. Capcom game as well, because he mentioned something about his voice work for some character or anything that's related to Marvel vs. Capcom. So people have been speculating about that. He kind of backpedaled on it, but a lot of people still believe that there may be another Marvel vs. Capcom in the works. So we could get a potential Power Stone, Rival Schools, Darkstalkers, Street Fighter 6, or even a new Marvel vs. Capcom game that may get revealed this year of Capcom's Cup 2020. We just have to just wait and see, which I find quite interesting. Now, my personal thoughts about the whole Darkstalkers franchise in general, like I said before at the beginning of this video, I really don't have no real strong connection with the franchise. As far as Darkstalkers is concerned, as a fighter, I love the visual effects that it had. It was very fast paced, especially with the introduction of high jumps, air combos, and everything like that. I always thought that it looked good on the eyes. I love the character designs and everything, but as far as me playing the game, I wasn't really into it, because I'm not really a person that's really into monsters, and this game is more of a monster type fighting game. I'm not really too big into werewolves, vampires, succubus, mummies and things like that. But I do respect the designs that Capcom have always been known for when it comes to their fighting games and their characters in general. Capcom has always had characters that are quite memorable, no matter if you are a gamer or not. Or if you are a gamer and not a hardcore gamer, you have at least had laid eyes on some of these Darkstalkers characters, especially mainly Felicia, Dimitri, and Morgan. Just to name the three of those characters. If you are at least part of the gaming culture, you at least laid your eyes on at least one of those three characters, if not more than that. And then of course Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which was released, the story mode had Morgan in it as well. So so a lot of people had at least laid their eyes on it. Now, the only relationship that I have with Darkstalkers, which is quite funny, and I said this before when it came to other relationships that I had with other games, fighting games that I wasn't too familiar with. When it came to Darkstalkers, besides the video game, which I only played once because my cousin Miles had it on the PlayStation 1, my strong connection, or I guess you say my relationship with it, was with the American release, the American cartoon release of Darkstalkers, and it was called American Darkstalkers.
Your worst nightmares, ghouls, zombies, werewolves, vampires. You can't be sure what lurks out there in the darkness of night. the Darkstalkers.
Which came on channel UPN 57 in Philadelphia, where I live. And of course, just like how they done just the American version of Street Fighter cartoon, they did the same thing with Darkstalkers. So that's where most of my knowledge had came from. You know, besides playing the game only one time at my cousin's house, that's where most of my knowledge for the game came from at the time. And then, of course, once I stepped into the realm of Mugen and became part of the Mugen community, that's where my knowledge had expanded, you know, into Darkstalkers, from downloading the many Darkstalker characters in Mugen. And I must say, like I said before, I think Mugen and Mugen is pretty much responsible for a lot of my knowledge when it comes to these fighting games like Waku Waku 7, Power Instinct, Last Blade, you know, a lot of fighting games. So I think Mugen for that. But Darkstalkers, my knowledge for that franchise has expanded because of just not only the cartoon but also Mugen itself, which I find, you know, quite funny. And I know a lot of people who are probably listening to this or watching this video right now. It's like, dude, you need to just get out of here. Like, how dare you? Which is quite funny. But overall, man, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know where this could go. Even though I've never played it, I only played the Darkstalker games once. I am quite curious to see where they may go with this, because remember, Ono had showed off at a Comic-Con convention years ago that a tech demo or a tech preview of a potential Darkstalkers that really never came to be. It pretty much hyped up the community, and then nothing about it have ever surfaced. So there could be some potential that they probably didn't scrap it all the way. They probably holding on to it, and then trying to figure out what to do with it from there. So looking at the character model and the Easter eggs that's found in Project Resistance, there could be some hints that they may be going with a more realistic tone or approach with this compared to the cartoony look that Capcom has been doing with Street Fighter and a lot of their other fighting game franchises for the past couple of years. So they could go with a more dark, gritty, more realistic, dark tone type of approach, which I think would be a nice change of pace for Capcom and their fighters. And I think Capcom Cup does need to expand their roster as far as fighting game selection, besides relying on Street Fighter franchise itself, because in my opinion, I think the Street Fighter just you know, getting a bit stale. You know, not only because of the bad netcode that it has, it's just Street Fighter 5 is just not something that's I guess you could say holding on to a lot of players. A lot of people are going to other alternatives because now we have you know Namco, Bandai Namco, we have Arc System Work, we have a huge variety of different fighters that's going on, and everybody is just pretty much doing a mass exodus, you know, going to try out other alternatives besides Street Fighter. So I think if they add in Darkstalkers or any other potential fighters that's not Street Fighter to the Capcom Cup, I think that'd be pretty interesting, and it'll bring in a variety of different players because each game will offer its own different play style, which I think would be pretty cool. But that's pretty much just my gist of all this. Ever since that this rumor has been just spiraling around. My previous video where Mike Z, the creator of Skullgirls, want to get their hands on Darkstalkers as the creators or whatever. That video has increased in views and people just started commenting on it. So the whole Darkstalker thing is gaining some steam. But that's pretty much wraps up this video. I definitely wanted to hear your thoughts. What do you think about a potential Darkstalkers that may come to next generation consoles like the PS5 and maybe the Xbox Series X? What do you think of the possibility that we could be getting a new Darkstalkers? And if you guys have checked out that Project Resistance video surrounding the Easter eggs behind Darkstalkers, do you think this could be some evidence that Capcom could be cooking up something, or you just think this is just something that Capcom wanted to have fun? Because of all games they decided to throw hints in, they decided to use Project Resistance, a game that most people don't care to play, which I find the game pretty cool. But they decided to throw all these Easter eggs surrounding the game in Project Resistance. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me in the algorithm on YouTube. If you haven't yet subscribed, like I said before, hit that subscription button and also hit the bell to be notified for more news related to Capcom and Darkstalkers. This is Mugen Lord, signing off. See you game fiends later. Peace out. It looks like you reached the end of the video. Well, while you're at it, check out some of my other discussion videos by clicking on the annotations below, and don't forget to follow me on other social media platforms to stay up to date with future content. Signing off.